This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association. Your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Mark Magnuson.
Hello and welcome into Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Mark Magnuson. Today is Wednesday, November 29th, 2023. Thank you so much for joining us for today's show. In today's episode, I will be joined by Dr. Steve Lerner with Christian Hansen. He's going to tell us about the benefits of adding a probiotic to your animal feed diet. We will also have a check of the ag weather outlook, but first, let's look at the closing markets.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
At the end of another trading day, I'm joined now by Jacob Burks of agmarket.net for our closing market analysis. Jacob, what did we see take place in the grains today?
Some strength today. You've seen the corn market in some of the deferred contracts see a 2 to 3 cent higher move. We're about a nickel off our lows. 7 cent trading range. So it's all in all, is a pretty quiet day. Soybeans started the day off on a stronger note. Immediately went lower, but they settled at an unchanged level. Wheat market was carried the flag today. We ended up seeing 10 to 12 higher in the Chicago. We saw Kansas City wheat upwards of 16, 17 cents higher and then 27 cents higher in the December contract. Soybean meal had a rough day here, down $1 to $2 across the board there, $1 to $3 actually. But I think the focus was today is what was going on in some of these contracts. The spread from Dec to March was the big news. We ended up getting as much as 25.5 cent spread. And a lot of that had attested to the fact that you had some of these basis contracts. There were some producers selling in the front months, and therefore the spread just continued to widen out because first notice day is coming in the morning. So tomorrow will be the first notice day for any delivery contracts. And just a lot of these contracts in the cash world are based off of the December, and they're going to be out of those. Most of those closed up here today.
Jacob, I know another story that we're watching very closely is the weather in South America, specifically Brazil, where it has been very hot and dry in the north. It's been far too wet in the south. And then we've gotten some kind of conflicting reports on what's going to happen here in the short term as we look at the forecast. But what's the latest that you're hearing?
I think first of all, it's weather market. It's just like being here in the end of May, going into you're in the middle of the planting season. They're behind. They don't get aggressively, making planting into the dryness. They wait for moisture. So that's been a delay. That's been the major topic, and there's a lot of concern now from the bean perspective, obviously. But then what will how far back will that push some of that safrinha crop, some of that second crop corn that's their big export corn. So a lot of the rumors right now you're hearing is some of these bean makers will end up going to cotton. I think that's the latest that I heard. Most every private analyst that I've seen that's reporting on South American production has lowered their yield estimates in Brazilian corn and Brazilian beans, and I think that's something that USDA will be curious when you go into the report next week. The supply and demand report for USDA is how much will they knock off? I think it'd be mandatory that they knock some of that off the yield due to those problems in the south and the north. So I think that'll be the focus. You're looking at somewhere upward like a 10 million metric ton knocked off of the beans, and about 7 to 8 million knocked off of the corn right now. Is from some of the pre report estimates and some of the thoughts of what we've seen from some of these private analysts.
Jacob, we've seen those export sales pick up a little bit, especially on the corn side, because corn is now in the world marketplace, U.S. corn, very affordable. But has that gone in line with kind of what you were expecting, or are you still thinking we're a little bit low on the export side?
Well, I think from the exports, what we do domestically, obviously our competition in South America has increased significantly over the last 5 years and exponentially in the last year, if you look at it from year over year. And I think that's something that we're going to have to get used to. We have to basically wait till the Brazilian inventories dwindle. They've had some problems with the Amazon. They've had some problems exporting it. So therefore, the comfort zone has been to come to America. I mean, we're going to always be the world's safe haven as far as infrastructure and the ability to hold on and be the last resort, and it will always be the last place to have wheat, corn, beans. And I think that's something that we're seeing now as some of their inventories dwindle, that some of that export business is coming to us. And the reason we're seeing a positive day in the wheat is because there's rumors of China coming in and buying some wheat off the PNW, and we need to see those announcements tomorrow. It sounds like we saw some corn announcements yesterday, but we need to, bean announcements yesterday. But right now the cheapest place for wheat right now to China is to the PNW.
Jacob, let's switch over to the other side of the ag marketplace in the livestock complex. We saw a lot of price movement to the upside yesterday in cattle. What did we see take place today?
Wow, it's you look at the feeder cattle range today, and you got 225 the high in March contract, and 222, a $3 trading range in feeder cattle days, almost like a yawner. But we ended up closing almost $1 higher across that entire front month, the first 5 months of the feeder cattle contract. The live cattle $1 higher in April, and we saw a 65 cents higher in the February contract. So I would say a good solid day. You've seen some nice recovery after we had a terrible Thanksgiving trading week, and I think that's ideally you continue to see you would continue to build off of this bounce. But I think that's something that we have to watch some of this overhead pressure and not foresee a dead cat bounce. So inventories have not changed. The problems that you're seeing is what's taking place on slowing this economy down. Stock markets continuing to rally. We're still making new highs there. But this inflation situation and what we've done from the policy standpoint of raising the interest rates, that seems like it's starting to catch up on the food sector a little bit, and some of this disposable income may not be going to these meats. What we're seeing in the cash market, what the weights have done in the live cattle versus what the box beefs have done. We've increased weight, we've decreased our slaughter, but our box beef price is staying too stagnant and staying too we're falling off, we're down below that $300 level. So that'll be something to watch. On the hog side of things, I would like to say that we've got a good, nice reversal here yesterday. I would like to think that being a discount, February being a discount to the cutouts right now is something that we should see a positive, since we usually carry a premium here at this time of year. So that would be a focus to see that hopefully these futures will catch some bids, encourage some buyers down here at this level. We finally saw China's hog prices stop their free fall, and so hopefully that'll be a positive note as well.
Always a lot taking place in the ag marketplace for us to keep track of. Thank you to Jacob Burks and the team for always helping us with that here on AMPM. Jacob, how can our viewers get in touch to get even more marketing information?
Well, go to our website. We got a lot of things exciting going on right now. We got our Intel is always available to you on a 30-day free trial. So go to agmarket.net. They have a 30-day free trial of our agmarket.net Intel. That's all of our information, and it'll be the best way to get to know us, and you can get a hold of us there on our website as well.
Lots of great tools for farmers to use. Jacob, thank you so much for the time here today. Have a great rest of your week.
Hey, thanks for having me, Mark. Appreciate it.
Thank you to Jacob Burks of agmarket.net for our closing market analysis. It is time now for a check of the closing market numbers.
December corn down 1 3/4 at 4.49 3/4. January soybeans up a half cent at 13.47 even. December soybean meal down $6 even at 4.44.30. December soybean oil down 66 cents at 52.68. Chicago wheat up 12 1/4 at 5.56 even. Minneapolis wheat up 2 1/4 at 6.96 3/4. Kansas City hard red wheat up 27 even at 6.40 even. December oats up 1 1/4 at 3.59 3/4. On the Merc, December live cattle up 25 cents at 171.90. January feeder cattle up $1.15 at 222.20. December lean hogs up 5 cents at 68.97. December pork cutout down 35 cents at 80.62. And Class 3 milk down 10 cents at 16.12.
And that wraps up our closing market coverage here on today's episode. It is time now to hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association, and the Soybean Checkoff. And when we come back, I will be joined by Dr. Steve Lerner with Christian Hansen, as we're going to learn all about animal probiotics.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
You're watching Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Mark Magnuson. In today's show, I'm joined by Dr. Steve Lerner with Christian Hansen. So we're going to learn about animal probiotics.
Mark Magnuson for the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, and we are at NAFB 2023, and I'm with Dr. Steve Lerner from Christian Hansen, and we're here today to talk about probiotics in just about any type of animals, what Dr. Steve told me. So, Steve, where should we start?
Well, let's talk about probiotics in general. So probiotics are defined as living microorganisms that when fed in an adequate quantity confer a benefit, a health benefit to their host. And in simple fact, probiotics do four things in the bellies of animals. They support digestion of the nutrients out of their feed. They support a healthy digestive system that allows absorption of those nutrients into the bodies of the animal. They support the barrier function that reduces the risk of leaky gut, and they support normal immune functions. So when a herd of dairy cattle, a lot of beef cattle, a flow of pigs, a flock of chickens are on effective probiotics, you've got a greater chance of those animals being normal, and the greater percentage of normal animals in any herd, lot, flow, or flock, the greater the chances, likelihood of positive economic success. And of course, we believe that having animals be healthy and normal is a very sustainable notion because in their feed is carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and the more of that they take into their bodies for the production of meat, milk, or eggs, then the less of it goes back out into the environment as pollution. So if you are using things like effective probiotics to get the groceries you've put in their feed into the animal, reducing the improving sustainability, reducing the output of potential pollutants, and growing more meat, milk, and eggs, well, then the economics of that pays dividends. And you get to talk to the public about not only sustainability, but animal welfare, because we know a healthy gut is a healthy mind.
So, Dr. Steve, is it oversimplifying to say that a probiotic you could almost look at like when you have a car and you tune it up and you want it to be running as efficiently as possible? Is that kind of what we're thinking about? You want that animal to be as efficient as possible, to use those nutrients, to increase that rate of gain, whatever you may be looking for, have a healthy animal, but also, like you said, the sustainability aspect of it as well.
Mark, that is a perfect analogy. You're putting in billions of microorganisms into trillions. You know that the interaction of those microorganisms in the gut microbiome, the collection of all of those, has a generally positive action. So you are improving the stability of the microbiome, the robustness of the microbiome. And if you go back, just an anecdote in history, bacteria have been on this planet for 3.2 billion years. All higher life forms, plants and animals, evolved in the presence of bacteria. We may think we carry them around. They see us as a beautiful transport system that brings them food, keeps them dark with no oxygen, and occasionally puts them back out into the environment, if you will. So when you can improve the quality of that microbiome with an effective product like probiotics, then it is a tune-up. It's a beautiful analogy. You're tuning the digestive system to be as efficient as practically possible, and you're hoping that leads to the animals in your care achieving as much of their genetic potential as practically possible based on the limits of their diet and their environment. So it's a perfect strategy.
So for our growers, our producers in Iowa that are interested in getting this involved in their feed system, how do they get in touch with Christian Hansen? What are the products they should be looking for?
Well, come to our website, chr-hansen.com. You can find our contact information. We would minimally send you information. The best case would be we have one of our tech service managers or our field reps come to you and have a conversation with producers and their nutritionists and provide the data through which you can make an informed decision. And that's really what we push for. We want producers to invest their money wisely. We would argue the use of a probiotic is a great choice. The choice of probiotic will depend on your comfort with the data and the company and convenience of purchasing it.
So you will tailor make it for the operation and its needs.
We have a variety of different products depending upon whether you're feeding concentrated feed, liquid supplements. We have individual products that will go into a vast array of different type of feed forms to make the feeding of probiotics as convenient as practical for the producer.
Is there anything else you'd like to let our viewers, our listeners back in Iowa know about what they should be thinking about when it comes to Christian Hansen and what you offer?
Well, we simply say every individual, your families, friends, and your children, and every animal in your care should be on an effective probiotic every day, from as early as you can get it in until departure. This is the rule, and we believe it wholeheartedly.
So not just a suggestion, just flat out, you should do it.
The evidence is overwhelming that it has a positive impact, and you should do it.
Dr. Steve Lerner with Christian Hansen, thanks so much for the conversation. Very interesting. Have a great rest of your day here at Trade Talk.
Thank you, Mark. My pleasure.
Thank you to Dr. Steve Lerner with Christian Hansen for that very interesting discussion about probiotics. It is time now for a check of the ag weather outlook. Always happy to be delivering good news during the weather portion of AMPM, and today that is certainly the case. As it is a mild day across the state of Iowa, temperatures firmly in the 40s throughout most of the state, and mostly sunny skies as well, as this is turning out to be a very nice day here, pretty much from one border to the other. And as for tonight's temperatures, we will cool down, of course, but not too low on those low temperatures. And then as we look to tomorrow, it looks like it could be another very mild day. So let's turn our attention now to the National Weather Service and what's in store for the next 24 hours.
As you can see from the National Weather Service, mostly sunny to sunny skies and more comfortable temperatures today, with the highs expected 40 to 48. Partly to mostly cloudy skies tonight, 22 to 31, the low expected range. Partly to mostly sunny for tomorrow, temperatures will remain above freezing, with highs expected 38 to 43. And now taking a look at our affiliate weather map for Thursday, Cherokee mostly sunny and 39. Shenandoah mostly sunny, a high around 42. Des Moines mostly sunny and 41. Albia partly sunny and 41. Waterloo mostly sunny and 38. Clinton partly sunny and 43.
For a more detailed forecast in your part of the state, make sure and check with your local Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network affiliate. And that does it for our Ag Weather Outlook. That also brings us to the end of this episode of Ag Matters PM. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. You can also find all of our videos on YouTube. While you're there, don't forget to subscribe. Click on the notification icon as well. That will let you know whenever we have any new videos available. And you can follow us on social media on X, Facebook, TikTok, and LinkedIn. And don't forget our free Twice Daily Market podcast, which are found on Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and Podbean. From the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network studios in Des Moines, I'm Mark Magnuson. For Riley Smith, Dustin Huffman, and Andy Peterson, we thank you for watching. This is Ag Matters PM.